Working a lot of hours. I was working like 84 hours a week.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're 20 and you're going to college and you're working that many hours.
Yeah, dude, you were going to college the whole time, right?
Yeah, yes, I was. And I remember the day that changed everything. It was on September of 2022. That day, you guys had a meeting with Jason and Strad.
Yeah.
And that day changed my life.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, ooh, real estate, I like it. I like money. Let's make some money with real estate. Let's flip some houses. It was probably one of the riskiest ways to get into real estate. Scariest and riskiest.
You're stealing the words right out of my mouth, man. Yo, what's up, man? You want to ride?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, man, let's go.
Let's go, man. Hop in. All right, let's pop this thing off.
It's so beautiful out here.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well,
dude, I'm excited to dive into talking about you, man.
Yeah,
and
man,
highlighting
me too.
you. Got some questions here to make sure I stay on track. So, your story is really cool, and I can't wait to dive into it more. But let's talk first about like what you were doing before real estate.
Awesome. So I was working in a paper company, actually, like Michael Scott. we used to make boxes for international paper. So I was working at international paper, just making boxes, just in an old factory. And that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing for about a year, and possibly, my youth when I was 20. During the time I was going to college as well, but yeah, man, definitely not the job I ever saw myself being at, and definitely not providing for myself like I wanted it to, and not aligning with my goals or dreams.
Yeah. So you were working like the office.
Yeah.
Right. What is it, Dunder Mifflin or?
Yeah, Dunder Mifflin.
Something like that.
It's called.
So, like, what did you feel? What was going through your head when you were working that job?
One, it was just boring. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. I was working a lot of hours. I was probably putting in. I was looking at my pay stubs the other day. Actually, I was working like 84 hours a week.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're 20. And you're going to college and you're working that many hours.
Yeah, dude, you were going to college the whole time, right?
Yeah, yes, I was. It was full time.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it wasn't fun at all. It wasn't fun. I had no free time. I mean, to be honest with you, it was kind of ruining my life, to be honest with you.
Wow.
It was, I was having issues with my relationships, actually, with not only with myself.
Just because you weren't happy?
Just because I was working so much that I was just working. I had like no feelings, like I would just go to work and that's it. I was, very unhappy. And I think that's the reason why I felt like that. Yeah, man, but
that's pretty wild.
It is. It is pretty wild. And it's interesting because my child, like teenage, when I was in high school, middle school, I always researched, about business. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Really? Okay.
And then, how did I come to that? How did I go to work in a factory, just, making, any money and just, I mean, that's it, just working for someone else.
Yeah. So would you say like you kind of were like at a breaking point at that point, or?
I think I was, actually.
Were you like looking and kind of searching for like what's that next thing I'm gonna do type of thing, or?
I definitely was. I was searching for something to kind of give me light, like I should quit this and I should start my career in something else.
Okay.
But I wasn't sure what that was gonna be. And I remember the day that changed everything. It was on September of 2022. That day, you guys had a meeting with Jason and Strad.
Yeah.
And that day changed my life.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about that. So that was my next question, is when we first met, right? It was at the event that I hosted with Jason and Stratton, right?
That's correct.
And what led you to get to that event?
A couple months before that, I was actually, like I said, I was thinking of like another type of job or hobby to make some money. So I was looking on the MLS to, find some deals so I could flip.
Yeah.
And during the time, it was when the market was crazy in 2022.
Yeah.
And we submitted an offer.
The market wasn't so good at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely not. So we found this deal. We submitted an offer at $15K over asking. Ended up going for $50K over asking.
Wow.
And so I was like,
you were looking to buy a house?
To flip. I was looking to flip with
So what led you to that point? Like, how were you in the position? Like, what led you up to be like, I want to flip houses?
man, I started seeing content from you. You're one of the people that I started seeing content. I was also surrounded by Maggie Sanchez.
Oh yeah,
and she was a family friend, and I mean, I just saw her stuff.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. I really liked it, and I was like, ooh, real estate, I like it. I like money. Let's make some money with real estate. Let's flip some houses. Without obviously, having a lot of the resources. The way I was gonna fund those that deal, my siblings actually got together. We got some money together to be able to actually pull off the amount needed to buy that flip.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to get into real estate, and I thought that was the best option. I thought flipping houses was the best option to get into real estate. And obviously that is not true. Now after being in the business, that is absolutely not true. It's probably one of the riskiest ways to get into real estate. Scariest and riskiest.
You're stealing the words right out of my mouth, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
we'll come back to that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, after just being surrounded by, not only Maggie, but being surrounded with the idea, of making money.
Yeah.
I just wanted to change, my legacy as well and figure out how to make money so I could leave my job. That's what led me over to that meeting on September.
Okay.
And so, boom, I went to the meeting. I want to say that was the first meeting I've been to that you guys have set up, and that was the tipping point. That day, like I said, that day I met you, and I remember a very specific point. I shook your hand.
I remember.
I spoke with you multiple. So I got to talk about this. The reason why I love you, Dean, and the way you operate your business and who you are is the fact that months before then, I was trying to look for some properties that I was working on, and I remember I got your phone number. I want to say Maggie gave it to me, and I called you up, and I was like, "Hey, Dean, I got this deal. How can I work it?" And you never spoke with me ever again. I'm just, some, young, 20-year-old from Visalia, broke. And I called you and I was like, what's your input on this deal? And I remember you're like, hey man, let me put my kids down. Give me like 10 minutes and I'll call you. You ended up calling me back. We went over the deal. The deal didn't work out. So I was really excited to meet you. So the first time I met you, you did your presentation. And then at the end of the night, I remember I went up to you and I shook your hand. And I said, Dean, you're going to see a lot more of me.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought we would be, here. Be in San Diego with you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I remember I said that. I said, hey, Dean, you're going to see a lot more of me. And I just looked you straight in the eye. I was extremely confident and just calm. And I was like, hey, you like, I don't know what's, I'm going to call you lot. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to see you again. You're going to start seeing my face a lot more.
Yeah.
And after that, 4 days later, I quit my job.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty crazy.
That was it.
So I want to talk about that night. So like, what was going through your head? Because I had forgotten. We had talked before that, right? Which was really cool. And a big thing I say to everybody, like, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're at, what time, what part of your journey, like, you got to give everybody the time of day and, give them the best that you can, because you never know who it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, you would want to be treated that same way,
absolutely.
Right? So we met that night, we shook hands, and then that, like, it ended up leading to you joining the coaching program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So, how old were you at that time?
I had just turned 21, I want to say. Yeah, okay. I had just turned 21.
Okay.
Yes.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. For anybody listening to that, like, you had just turned 21, you were going through this time in your life where you just, like, weren't really feeling like you were where you want to be, and you were taking the action to seek out that next thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And another thing is living at home with your parents.
Yeah.
Right? So talk about that. Like, I want to, for some people that are just getting started, they might think that they need to go out, they need to, live on their own and do all that kind of stuff. But talk about living at home with your parents.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, so how can I start? So I graduated high school, went to Fresno State. I actually moved to Fresno, lived, in Fresno, California for a year. And then COVID hit, and I ended up moving back home.
Yeah.
And I think it's just great, especially with the time that we are in today, where housing is so expensive.
Yeah.
Any young person, especially any young person whatsoever, wanting to start a career or not, if you have the opportunity to stay with your parents, I mean, absolutely
I say
do so.
it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
we talked about that too.
Yeah,
right?
you got to. I mean, for so many different reasons, financial reasons, absolutely financial reasons. But I mean, you get to spend more time with your parents. I mean, it's and even living with them. I mean, I probably see them or talk to them maybe an hour a day. You know, even when I'm living there, just because I'm so busy. You know, running around, you know, trying to get these deals. But yeah, it helped me basically make the decision to quit my job and go all in, you know, because it provided some type of security at the same time. As to be honest, not only did I quit my job, I made a big investment in myself, and I had no idea where this was going to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
So everything that led up to there, what made you end up wanting to join the coaching program?
Alrighty, so this is pretty crazy, and I was actually thinking about it earlier. So we had that meeting, it was on a Thursday. I won't forget, Thursday, September, on this specific Thursday. That night, meeting was over at 8, drove back home, got ready for work, clocked in on my job at 10. I was working 12 hours from 10 to 10. So I was working 12 hours, and I remember that day I had a coworker. His name was Jesus at work, and I had told him, hey man, look, I went over to this meeting. I met this gentleman, Dean, this guy named Jason. He's doing 100 deals a year. I mean, I'm not even doing one. Like, this is not what I want to do. These guys are killing it. They have, like, their lives are amazing. They're just amazing people. I want to be like them. And he right there and there said, dude, you got to quit your job, man. You're young. I mean, you're so smart. You're dedicated. Like, quit your job. You're going to make it. I know you are. So that was on Thursday night. Went to work Friday. And then Saturday, I clocked in at 6 p.m. And we're cleaning. So I was working 6 p.m. to 6 in the morning. So 6 in the morning would be Sunday already. So I want to say it was 2:30 a.m. on Sunday. We're cleaning up the machines. And I remember I was laying down. I was soaked in cold water. I was super dirty. I was tired working 12-hour shifts, Monday to Sunday. Like, what was I doing? So I remember I was just laying there cleaning. It's called the glue pan. I was cleaning it, and then I asked myself the question, like, it just came into my head, like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
I said, what am I doing with my life? I said, I'm 20, gonna be 21. Like, what am I doing with my life? I mean, this is just not where I want to be. I'm not where I want to be. And I remember, got off at 6, went home, went to sleep. I woke up at 3 p.m. on a Sunday. On that same Sunday, woke up at 3 p.m. And I remember I just woke up that day with such ease, and ended up going over to my family's, and I was actually discussing with a few family members that I was thinking about quitting, and they were like, you know what, you should quit. And then that same night, so I woke up at 3, I was at the house talking to them like at 6, I want to say, and then about 7:30, I get a message from you. Like, crazy. Like, if you had a crystal ball, I don't know if I ever told you this, but yeah, I got a message from you, and you were like, hey Brian, this is my link. If you want to go ahead and get into my coaching program, if you want to see, what we can, make happen. And I was like, wow, like, that is perfect. Like, I'm thinking about quitting my job, and literally like 2 hours later, you're telling me, hey, join my coaching program. Like, let me change your life. That's how I saw
crazy.
it. And right there and there, I said, you know what, I'm gonna quit my job. So the following day, I called HR and I'm like, hey, put in my 2 weeks, I'm quitting.
Wow.
And that was it.
Wow.
That was
That's
it. That's
crazy,
the story.
Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you're listening to this right now and you're just getting started, or you're doing this on your own, you might be struggling or not have clear direction. And I get it. When I first got started, I got some results, but I wasted a lot of time and made some big mistakes that cost me a lot of money. Now, I don't want the same for you, and I know I can help because after a handful of coaches and joining masterminds, we learn how to take our business to multiple 7 figures a year. Now, if you're interested in learning how you can join the coaching program and the community, click the link down below in the description to apply. Now let's go ahead and get back into the podcast. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back. So let's talk about what it has been like being in the coaching program.
It's been amazing. And I mean, when I say that, it's just the coach program itself, kind of gave me the skill that I needed to change my life, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The coaching program has been amazing. The best thing about the coaching program is that you basically have all the contracts needed, right? The coaching program itself, you have all the contracts that's needed. And I mean, it has you, Dean. It has you, man. And the thing is that every issue I run into, I can go ahead and discuss it with you. The coaching program really, brings a lot of great entrepreneurs together, right? Any issue that we face that we know someone else is going through, we can give them a call and kind of figure it out. So, I mean, it's just a great community. The coaching program is just a community of us just trying to strive and do better, and make some money, of course. And, I mean, it's just, that's what I got to say about the coaching program. It's just great.
So I think one of the things about you that, like we were talking about, I noticed like from the day one we met, like you were an action taker, you were going to get results, like nothing was going to get in your way. And like one of the things that I appreciate about you, like, reciprocation wise, is you always reached out when you needed to work through something serious.
Yeah.
And it's not like you just kind of went through the program and it was like, oh, well, what do I do next? Like you were constantly taking action.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to talk about the story about a deal that was going into foreclosure.
Okay. Yes.
And you text me on a Sunday. I love telling the story because it's just like, it's such a good testament to like who you are and like, and then also us working together through that. Like, it's a really cool story. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to say during this time last year, January, I was following up with, many leads. So there was a specific lead that was a foreclosure lead in Visalia. And I mean, I think I was driving to get a coffee, and then all of a sudden my phone rings, and it was on a Sunday. It was noontime, and it says, "How can you help me?" Just like that.
Yeah.
And I jumped on my phone, I saw who it was, and I was like, "Oh, well, this is what I can do for you. I can help you do this, so you afford foreclosure."
Yeah.
But there was a problem, right? The foreclosure auction was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I actually had forgotten that Monday was a holiday.
Monday was a holiday.
So Monday was a holiday. It was like,
What
how
the
many
heck?
Monday holidays are there, right?
Yeah.
It just had to be in the perfect date.
Oh, man.
So it was kind of like a moment that I needed to think, what was I going to do? So I told them really quickly, hey, I give them a call. This is what we got to do. I'm going to send you a contract tonight. You got to sign it. That same day, I contacted my escrow officer, Claudia Casillas from Chicago Title now, and I gave her some information. And obviously she's not in her office, so she's very knowledgeable. Whatever information she gave me worked. I called him back, did some research on my own, got some more information, threw it back to her. Then now we're on Monday. Now on Monday, the little information I gather, I give it to Claudia. She goes ahead and calls the bank that was dealing with the foreclosure, and she gets all the details needed, right? How much was owed, what we needed to kind of push the postponement of the transaction, and man, I was just doing everything I could on that Monday, but title wasn't open. We couldn't submit any type of documents, no postponement, nothing. We had to wait till Tuesday morning. Tuesday rolls around, right? Throughout the whole thing, I believe I was talking to you. Tuesday rolls around, and the reason why is because I had called you for this. I called you to ask you what could I do if I can't get the postponement, right, of the auction date, and file bankruptcy, right? I want to say file bankruptcy. And I was like, man, I'm gonna have to do it. Like this is one of those deals that I'm gonna pay a couple grand to go ahead and file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have to. So I believe that was Monday. I called the homeowner and I'm like, hey, look, I'm gonna do my best to get this postponed, but if it doesn't go through, I need you to meet me at this lawyer office tomorrow morning, right? Because your house is going to foreclosure at 1 p.m. sharp, and that's it.
Yeah.
Once it goes, you're never gonna get it back. And I remember Tuesday rolls around, Claudia submits all the paperwork. I want to say it was 10:30, 11, haven't heard it back. We're checking on their website, see if it gets postponed. I got 2 hours before this house is gone, right? You got the buyers already at Tulare County ready to buy it, and I'm just 2 hours away from this guy losing his house. I call him up. I said, hey man, can you go ahead and meet me there at the place I told you? He goes. We meet up 11:30. I want to say. I'm probably there 45 minutes. 12:15. Call Claudia. Claudia, any updates? No updates whatsoever. man, we're gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
I go in there to the lawyer's office, and they needed cash, right?
They needed cash.
They need cash there. That makes a lot of sense, right? We talked about
no
it
credit
afterwards.
cards, no checks.
Yeah, because you're going bankrupt. Everything's gonna bounce. So I had the cash in hand. I'm like, let's start the paperwork. And I want to say we started the paperwork at like 12:43 or so, or 12:43, like crystal clear. I remember that. Less than 20 minutes before the auction. And they started the paperwork, and I'm just, telling
you had to be nervous, right?
Yeah, I'm nervous, man. I'm shaking. So I'm about to spend $3,000.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Now, after the bankruptcy, that's another thing. I don't know what to do after that, right?
Yep.
Like, what's next? There goes another issue, more money, more complications. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So we're there with the homeowner. They're taking his ID, scanning everything. And I want to say it was 12:50, 12:52 at this point, just like 6 minutes before 1 o'clock. And I get a call from Claudia. Claudia calls me. I pick up the phone. She goes, "Hey, it's been postponed." Ooh. And then, man, I was so stoked. I said, "Are you serious?" I remember I fell back on a chair. I go on their website. I put in the code. Boom, got postponed for another month and a half.
Jeez.
Perfect. I tell the homeowner, is happy. I tell the lawyer office, they're not really happy. No, they want to kick me out of the place. Yeah. They're like, you wasted all my time. Yeah. Get this kid out of here.
Right.
So we go outside. I tell the homeowner, hey man, well, congratulations, right? Obviously he's still in foreclosure, but we kind of just saved it.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna, help him, right? If I was gonna buy it myself, I was gonna go ahead and wholesale the deal. But regardless, that was the air I needed right there. That was the room I needed. I said, look, man, congratulations. We went outside, and I just said, hey, man, look, now we're going to start, the entire process, man. We're going to go ahead and open escrow. We're going to pull all the paperwork, see exactly how much you owe. And, man, but I'm gonna help you. Yeah. I'm going to help you not go to foreclosure. Not only did, I not excited, saved your house from you losing it today, saved your credit. Basically,
so you guys were able to get the deal done.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the deal done. At the end of the day, we got the deal done, man. And so that happened in 3 days. It was a roller coaster of emotions just in 3 simple days.
So you were able to get it postponed. You were able to get the deal done. How much did you end up making on that deal?
$25,000.
$25,000.
$25,000.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
I cannot say. I want to say that's how much I made working 6 months before then. I made it in 3 days, which was absolutely insane.
So what I love about that story is you were presented with a problem. Well, first you were presented with the opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
The guy reached out. You noticed that there was a problem. There was 2 days until the auction date. The guy reached out to you last second, and one of the days was a holiday.
Yes.
You reached out to me on that Sunday. You're like, hey, can I get on the call with you?
Yeah.
And we got on the call. We talked through it. We said, this is exactly what we need to have happen. It's not guaranteed,
absolutely,
but this is what has to have happen. Now what I didn't know until we spoke, I think Monday or something, was you took the extra step and you got in contact with Claudia, right? And she was willing and able to do the work on a Sunday and again on Monday, right? This is why it's so important to be working with the right people.
Absolutely.
If you didn't have that prior relationship, if you didn't, if she wasn't the type of person that was willing to do that, dead deal.
Dead deal, absolutely.
Not even a chance. So, what a cool story, man.
Yeah, it was an amazing story.
That's pretty cool. And to be able to work through that with you, you called me on Tuesday morning, like, I'm here at the bankruptcy office, so what should I do, right? Like, it was a wild ride. And when you called me, like, it got postponed, I was jumping around too.
Yeah, man.
Because what a cool thing.
It was, to get it postponed in actually 1 day. Just in just a couple hours.
It was like 4 business hours.
Yeah, literally.
Not even a full day, less than a full day. You were able to get it postponed. You executed on it perfectly. The stars aligned.
Yes.
God made it happen, right? Like
God made it happen.
What a cool thing. So,
absolutely.
I want to ask you, like, since joining the coaching program, taking action, getting some results, what has been the thing that's worked best for you?
Networking. I want to say networking has been excellent. I know you talk about that tons in the coaching program, and that's what the coaching program does itself. Actually, helps you network with people. Yeah. I mean, in your coaching program, we have people out of state, right?
Right.
We have people from Ohio, from Florida. I mean, from all over the place, which is great. Networking has been amazing in just knowing if people know what you do, they'll reach out to you, right? And when I say, I mean, just, JV deals, right? There's a lot of new wholesalers that don't know how to maneuver, right, certain transactions, don't have the contract, don't have the buyers. And that's what networking allows you to do. And for myself, I network and I need people, right? When I have certain deals that for whatever reason I can't move, I mean, there's people, in my network that know how to get that deal through, right?
Yeah.
So networking has definitely been a great way that has improved my business, right?
Yeah.
And obviously have made some money.
So I tell your story a lot, like to a lot of people, because it inspires me. It's such a great example of like different ways that you can have success. And one of the things that still blows me away, right? And I always say this to people. I said, if a 21-year-old living at home with his parents with no experience before getting started in real estate can network with other people, find a way to add value to make a deal happen and make money, then I think just about anybody can do it.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the advice you would give for somebody who, regardless of their situation, right? That's yours. Regardless of their situation, what is the best, most effective way to build a relationship with somebody and to be able to add value so that you can do deals with somebody else?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say this because I think it's really important to say this is finding a mentor, right? I feel like that kind of, just shoots you to the stars. Just because having a mentor just helps you in so many different ways, right? For example, you, Dean, right? You're my personal mentor. When people see us together, they want to hang out with me too, right? Because you're a cool guy, right?
Yeah.
Now they want to be surrounded by me, right? So get around people that have tons of influence, I want to say, right? Surround yourself with people that have a lot of influence, that have a lot of network, and just try to catch as much as possible.
That's cool.
So absolutely, you got to invest in yourself at some point, find a mentor, educate yourself, and every time you have an issue, ask questions. Call people around. There's tons of people around us that are doing the same thing, that have faced the same issues beforehand, that are able to help us, right?
Yeah.
So just don't be afraid, and just find those individuals that are really going to help you, excel in business.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What would you say is the hardest part of your journey so far, right? We just were talking, you've been in this for just a little over a year.
Correct.
Which is pretty wild to think about. What has been the hardest part throughout this journey so far?
Whew. I want to say the hardest part about all this of being a sole entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Running your own business is just
It's tough.
going through those dips, right?
Yes,
Those dips
yes.
that, you're doing everything physically possible. You're making your calls, you're doing your marketing, and just no deals coming through.
Yeah.
Right. So I think those are the months that you got to make sure you stay consistent and you got to stay strong, right? You can't just throw the towel.
Yeah.
I want to say this year. I want to say 3 months without making anything. I want to say, no, 2 months. I want to say 2 months. I didn't make anything, right?
Yeah.
And then I want to say in March, boom, was my biggest month. I think I made like $54,000 that month. And then I closed another 2 really big deals, like $32,000 the next month, right?
Wow,
and then we
yeah.
go over, right? Some months that we don't have anything.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest issue that I'm facing right now is just making sure I have consistent deals, consistent inflow, making sure my marketing channels are good to go, because I'll always want to be having in deals, right?
Yeah.
Right now I'm at the point we definitely have leads that we're working, but I want to make sure we're closing, a handful of deals every single month, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm trying to prepare my business to do, is close a couple of deals every single month. And obviously we're going to have those bad months, but we just got to stay in there, right? We can't quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we know what's going to happen, right? Like I said, 2-3 months, no deals, and then boom,
Happens,
50
yeah.
grand in 1 month, like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
That's cool.
But it's happened, and I'm proof of that. I
Yeah.
made it happen.
So let's talk about that when you're in that moment, right? When you're starting to have some of that doubt, some of that fear, some of that like self-talk where it's like, why isn't it working? What's wrong? Like, what's going on? And we're looking over, I'd say a short period of time. It's been a long period of time for you. You could say a little over a year. It might feel like it's been a long time, but for your journey, you've got so much ahead of you. So in those moments that you've experienced so far, what has helped get you through that?
Calling you, once
Yeah.
again, like, having a mentor, once again, it's not only about, the issues that you have when business is running good. It's about the issues when business is not going good at all, right? Giving you a call, hey man, look, I'm going through this issue, Dean. I mean, have you gone through this before? And I mean, yeah, you have, right? Because we all have, and obviously that makes me feel a lot better. So sometimes just talking to some people, and letting them know, has this happened to you? Just staying centered. I want to say staying centered, trying to keep yourself motivated, knowing that your goal is huge, and little by little it's a tough couple months, but you're progressively hitting those goals.
Yeah.
Right. So just having that insight of pursuing those goals. Yeah.
That's great. So let's talk about how many deals you've done so far.
I want to go ahead and say I've done 20 deals. I want to say 21 deals. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
My first year of busting my butt, I was like, I got to go back and try to find the exact addresses, but I was like right around 8 deals. You've done 20 deals. Yeah, well, what does that feel like to you? Do you feel like you've climbed Mount Everest and you've accomplished like an amazing feat, or do you feel like you're still like nothing yet? Like you haven't even done anything?
I still feel like nothing. Absolutely. I mean, the numbers that I did, I hit over, way over 6 figures this year.
Yeah.
But
amazing.
I mean, someone like you, right? And you're great because I aspire to be and run my business just like the way you do. I mean, how much did you make in the month of December, right? You made more in 2-3
over
weeks.
$500,000.
Yeah, over $500,000 in 1 month.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot more than what I made all year long, right?
Yeah.
What's my train of thought? So I mean, I just see you guys doing so good. It's one of the things that keeps me on edge, keeps me very, very motivated. Yeah. I've done 20 deals. I don't feel anything special. Don't feel no type of greatness. Made some great money, of course, but it doesn't make me feel great whatsoever. I mean, if anything, I'm even more hungry. If anything, I'm just more hungry. There's just so much more ground to conquer. Yeah. And I mean, there's just so much more that I need to be doing. I mean, if I was working, 30 hours, 50 hours before, right, a week, and I made, great money. Now I need to work double the hours and make a lot more money, and get a lot more deals and get a lot more traction and grow the business a lot more. Yeah. So 20 deals feels amazing. It feels great because it's something I did accomplish without thinking that, realistically, I didn't think it was, I mean, I knew it was possible. I knew I had it in me. I didn't know I was going to do so well so fast. That was another thing. I mean, I just did everything you told me to do, and I just, busted my ass, and it got me results. And every deal that I get, I put in a folder, and I put deal number 1, deal number 2, deal number 3. That's cool. And my folder's getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I need a whole filing cabinet full of deals, right? With all the contracts signed. So, if anything, it's just it changed my perspective, right, on how much someone can truly make realistically. That's cool. Something to share with you. I had put my goal last year for 2023. I put my goal at 150,000, right? Yeah. I had never made, not even 80 grand in a year before then. And so 150 grand was like the $1 million right now, right? Yeah. And I hit it. And when I hit the 150,000, I was like, okay, we hit our goal. But that was it, right? Now what? Yeah, now what, right? Now, so when I rewrote my goals this year, I mean, dude, we got $1 million in there. We're coming for that $1 million this year. Go. So once again, it changed your perspective, and it makes you more hungry. And we're gonna hit $1 million this year, and guess what? Next year we're gonna want to, 10x, right? $10 million next year. Yeah. So it's just it changed the perspective, and it makes me more hungry than ever before.
That's so cool, man. That's crazy. What a great accomplishment. And why I know you're gonna do so well is because I can tell you're really grounded, right? And that's the kind of mindset you need to have to be able to keep going to those new levels, because sometimes it will get to people's head and they'll start making silly decisions and just doing things differently, and that's when things go sideways. So that's a great compliment to you, man. So with that, guys, we'll be back after this break.
Hey, what's up, guys? If you want to learn more about how you can join my community where I'm going to work with you hands-on, make sure you click that link down below. Let's go.
Let's get out of here.
All right, man, let's go.
into it. Let's blow this joint. I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on living at home? We talked about that before, right? What it's been like. How much longer do you think you're going to live at home?
So, I'm 22 now. I honestly want to move out by next year. I want to say I want another.
Don't do it.
I want another good year. But, you know, I feel
Stay as long as possible.
I mean, I feel like 24, 25 is the age, you know, for me to move out. I feel like I got a great early start. Things have been good, but I think 24, 25, 2-3 more years, I should be moving out.
As long as possible.
As long as possible.
I'm telling you, man. Because, like, you haven't even gotten anywhere close to, like, half of your years on life, right? You're going to have so much time that you're going to live out on your own. My 2 cents is always like, dude, if you can, if you're not dying inside being there, you know,
Correct.
like stretch it out as long as you can, because the amount of money that you'll be able to save every single month or every single year will be like tens of thousands of dollars.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That could be a down payment on a rental property, like
That's true.
all sorts of different things. So stretch it as long as you can.
Cool. Thank you for the insight. Absolutely.
So I want to talk about your future, man, because I think you just have like an insanely bright future, and I'm excited to watch your journey and see where you're going. And like I said before, having you in the coaching program and having, conversations with you, you inspire the heck out of me, and I think it goes both ways. Like,
absolutely.
We both lift each other up. That's what's like so cool about this whole thing. You know
Yes,
what I mean? Like, we can both lift each other up and both get something so great out of it. What are your plans for the future? Like, what do you feel like is your vision as it's changed in the time that we've kind of talked about?
Man, I feel like this is what I found that I really like to do. I really, really like to do this. I love having the schedule that I do now, the freedom that I do. I want to continue doing this, obviously at a different level. I want to go ahead and continue growing this business. I eventually want to get to the point where I have my own operations team, and basically I operate my business with very little of me, right? I want to work on the business, not in the business. On the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
So, for business relationships, that's what I want to go ahead and do. Obviously, start a family is one of those things that definitely on my schedule in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
All right, getting married, all that.
Yeah.
And
big moments in life.
The big moments in life, and I love those big moments in life and those milestones, because they motivate me to do even better.
Yeah.
Just to be able to provide for your family. I'm sure you feel really good to be able to do as much as you can for your family without having to think twice. So having a family and just growing the business that I have now, definitely. And well-being as well. I love going to the gym. I want to continue doing my thing. Right, I got weight goals to hit. I want to be beefed up like you did. I want to be beefed up.
Hey, so you called me about that the other day, which I thought was like, it made me feel like just really fulfilled and cool inside. You called and you just were kind of like sharing some kind of insights into kind of where your life was at the moment, and where your thoughts were, and what you were able to do as a result of the action that you have been taking over the past year and the results that you've gotten. And I just thought it was really cool to hear that come from you.
Oh, absolutely.
And talking about how you're able to kind of like run your schedule how you want, and live life on your terms. What a powerful thing.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
absolutely. Yeah, I had discussed that. This previous year, not only was my best year, in my business, it was the year that, I traveled the most. I enjoyed my life the most, which is amazing. Like, cool. I worked less and made more money. Like, that's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
It's about that balance. Like I was telling you, I was in Las Vegas for an entire week. We're going out at night, you know, and during the day, you know, I'm just working, you know, trying to send out these contracts, you know, follow-ups, you know, making some calls. Man, I'm working while I'm in Las Vegas, you know, and then I go to LA, I'm at Disneyland, and, you know, just trying to get some contracts done real quick before getting on the rides. And I mean, I need to do that so that I'm able to, you know, take the trips that I do. But it's just been amazing for me to go anywhere that I want. I'm still, you know, making deals happen and just enjoying my life in general. I mean, it's been amazing. Having to call my own schedule. I mean, travel whenever I want. I don't got to go and put in my vacation, you know, a job, and then it gets rejected and, you know, no pay, and then I'm freaking out. No, man, I can take off for 2 weeks if I want.
And you can get stuff done while you're doing it. Like, you have the
Absolutely.
flexibility.
Absolutely.
So I want to end with this, is talking about, you know, for somebody who's listening to this and who's wanting to get started, right? What is some of the advice that you would give them? And I want to add on top of that one thing, which is we touched on at the beginning about how wholesaling is the best way to get started. It's the least risky.
Absolutely.
Flipping is not the best way,
Absolutely
right?
not.
You have some experience with that. So why don't we talk about, for someone who's listening, just getting started, what kind of advice would you give them?
I want to say this, you got to listen to yourself. And what I mean by that is I always knew that I was meant for a lot more than what I was doing. And I guess, I mean, just to be blunt with you, I was too afraid. Right, so listen to yourself. If you feel like you're made for so much more, you go out, risk it.
It's a scary thing.
And get it done. Absolutely, it's scary. But it's scarier knowing that you never tried it, right? You never reaching your full potential. I feel like we all got potential, and I mean, it's like a game, right? We all locked chapters of how much potential we have, right? And some of us are at 20% right now. We got 100% in us. We just got to get there. So absolutely, don't be afraid to go after your dreams and goals. Always listen to yourself, and relation to hit back into wholesaling and flipping. I mean, just wholesaling is amazing because it takes off the risk about everything else. It's just time wise, you'll wrap it up in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks if needed, with very, very little work. You don't gotta worry about all the extra components of, you know, where to get the money from to fund it, contractors, the market changing, the interest rates, you know, who's gonna buy the property. I mean, it's just too much. With wholesaling, you find the property, you sell it, and that is it. And just go do it over and over again. And I flipped one property this year. Majority was wholesales, but I flipped one property this year, and I just got to tell you, it was definitely scary. And and to be honest with you, it was my first one, so everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. Like they say it, right? Like they say these things not just to say them; they say it because it actually happens. And I mean, paper-wise, we made some money there, but the amount that I put into the transaction, the amount of deals that I actually let slip by, and just time that it took away from me, I actually lost quite a bit of money because I wasn't there making the calls, closing I mean, I had maybe like $30,000 of assignment fees fall through my hands during that period. While, you know, we barely made anything on the flip. So if you're looking to get into real estate, 100% wholesaling is the way to go. You know, wholesaling is the way to go. It just cuts all the risk off it, and I mean, you got to make some money and just do it over and over again.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Well, dude, you got such a great, incredible story. You've been a blessing in my life, whether you know that or not. You've inspired me and made me want to give even that much more with the coaching program and giving value to others. And it's just been like so cool to like learn more about your story today, right? And dive more into it. So until next time, guys, peace. You can't do these, Dylan. You can't do these. You won't. You won't. You won't.
Oh man, you're gonna make me do it.
You won't. I think I'm already on 30. I stopped counting after 30.
I always start counting first.
Yeah.
Like Muhammad Ali.
I think I did over 1,000. Not cold anymore.
Oh man.
Dylan's gonna be here for another.
Another 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. He's cheating for sure. He's got to be here at least another 5 minutes to catch up to the amount that I did.
You got a little English?